All right. Hey, so I wanted to talk real quick about tightness in the hips, tightness in the low back, pain in the hips, pain in the low back. Real simple little demonstration here and just explanation. And that's how we always want to look at this stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you can dive into, but if you make it more complicated than what you need to understand it, to change your behavior, then it doesn't help you. That's something to really remember. If it doesn't cause you to change your behavior, it doesn't matter. Like, don't waste time on stuff like debating stuff or researching stuff that's not causing you to change your behavior, okay? Because that's what we're really looking for. So in this simple diagram here, okay, so we got the brain up here, right? Brain, that kind of governs everything. One thing that you need to know, okay, anytime there's tightness and pain, it's protective. It is trying to protect you, okay? And so there's the most important thing, one of the most important things for your brain is to protect the spinal column, right? Which runs down the spine, because you have the spinal cord in there, obviously, very important. So the group of muscles, your core, your trunk, that are involved in protecting that and giving stability to that are mainly these guys right here, right? You have everything in your back. You have everything in your abs. I'm just simplifying it. Obviously, it's not just, your abs. It's everything on your sides, right? All the way around 360 degrees, okay? That is protecting your spinal column, all right? So now you have your abs, your back muscles, your hip flexors. You need to understand that that actually is a group of muscles, and their job is to flex the hip. Basically meaning like if I'm standing here, like if I can show you, flexing the hip means bringing up my knee like this. This is me knee flexing, okay? Or hip flexing, I mean. And so then we got the glutes. Now, one little simple thing to kind of understand as far as how these muscles work is they work in an X, okay? They work, so the back and the hips together and the abs and the glutes together, okay? So like I said, if your brain doesn't feel that there's stability or safety in a particular part of your body, it makes the muscles in the area tight so that then you don't go into ranges of motion that could cause damage, okay? So if something is going on where your body's not weak and strong, or your body is not strong, Jesus Christ, or your body is not strong. So like if you've ever picked up a piece of paper and your back got tight or something silly like that, that's because your brain says there is danger if I let you go into these extreme ranges of motion. And so it locks up, okay? And so then you stop doing that, right? Like that's the whole thing, like understanding pain. Pain's not bad. It actually is very valuable and beautiful piece of information that helps us make decisions and make changes, and if we use it correctly, if we look at it correctly. Now I want to take, the strength part is, we'll cover that in a different video, but what I really wanted to go over here is the coordination part, okay? So when you're doing stuff, your abs and your glutes need to know how to coordinate how much tension is in them so that you can move efficiently, okay? It's not like a on-off switch, okay? These things. It's more of like a dial, right? That you can dial up the tension, dial back the tension, okay? That's my little dial there, okay? We'll just leave this out here, but you get the idea, right? We can dial it up, we can dial it down. Now, how do you build coordination? So this is something that, one of the things that people don't understand is that when different muscles are dialing at different rates and they're not working together, then you get things that get messed up. Like one's pulling more than the other's not pulling enough, one's tight and one's stuck, whatever. One's weak, one's not weak, like all these kinds of things. Then basically there's no coordination between the muscles, right? They're not working together and there's no communication happening between them. So then your brain turns on the pain mechanism and you just don't do anything, right? Which is good because it prevents you from getting further injured. Now, I wanted to show you just an example of this, okay? So over here, this is a 145-pound overhead press, and I'm 148 pounds in this video, okay? Let's take a look. Okay, so in this press, okay, at this point, now, in order for me to press this weight, things that need to happen, okay? My abs need to turn on. My glutes need to be tight. If my glutes and my abs are not tight, I'm gonna lean back like this, and then my brain's gonna tell me, hey, lock up the low back. And then I'm gonna get tightness in my back, and I'm gonna feel pain, and I'm probably gonna just put that weight down, right? Or if I push through it and I have a huge arch backwards in my back, then basically like my abs are not on, nor are my glutes. And so my low back is providing all the stability to my spine. And then after I put it down, I'm gonna feel pain, right? So let's take a look as I finish this press. You see, when I finish this press, I guarantee you my quads, my glutes, and my abs are as tight as could be, okay? And the reason for that is I want stability in the spine. I want there to be safety there, okay? And I put it back. And then that's me being a dinosaur. Same thing here, okay? So over here we got about 425 pounds on the bar, okay? And then I pick it up and I start walking. Now, in this example, what I want you to see is, again, my glutes and my abs have to be working together in order for this to work, okay? They have to be coordinated. That's why, and so my what I want to leave with here, because this is an extensive topic, we can go down the rabbit hole. I just wanted to introduce this topic to you, and what I want you to know is we want to pick things that develop the strength and the coordination, okay? This is kind of the summary. I want to pick things that develop the strength and the coordination that will allow me to do whatever it is that I want to do. Now, you don't need to actually necessarily be picking up 425 pounds and walking with it. That is, in fact, it's probably not in a goal that you should pursue. It might end up happening when you do the right things, but it's not like what we're trying to shoot for, because what we're really trying to shoot for is A, looking good, B, feeling really good, not having pain, and then being able to move and do everything you want in your day-to-day easily. Like, that's our goal. Our goal is not to deadlift 600 pounds, 500 pounds, 400 pounds. 300 to 400 pounds could happen fairly easily if you do the right things, right? For pretty much any male. But it's not something that we're chasing, because then it kind of like, we don't know why we're doing it. And unless you're like a competitive power lifter, like it doesn't really give you the satisfaction that you're really kind of looking for, right? So, however, though, this exercise of loaded carries is one of the best ways to develop the coordination in all of those muscle groups and the strength. It is so easy to learn. You can't mess it up. Okay, this is me running. This is quite a while ago. But doing things that have a low barrier of entry as far as learning, high carryover and return on your time invested. Okay. Some of my favorite things that develop the strength and the coordination of all these muscle groups that we've been talking about here. Okay. One of them is actually any type of moving or carrying or dragging with weight. So if I carry, a bunch of dumbbells, walk back and forth, if I drag stuff, right? You may not have access to those types of things, but if you do, like here in the gym, I have people do that all the time because I have the stuff. You might not have that stuff, but if you do, I would recommend doing that, right? So good. And that's a whole different video, just going in depth on different types of carries and crawls and drags and things. But the second thing is crawls. Okay, so now if you think about it, a crawl, and we're not going to go into the variety of different crawls, but when you do stuff on the ground with control, you're building strength, B, all of those muscles have to work together. And one of the best ways to do that is to just do things slower so that they're smoother, okay? Because when you go slow, you have to be coordinated, okay? You can't build coordination if you're not already coordinated by going fast in anything you do. You build the coordination by slowing down. And then if you do it in things like crawls, then it carries over to so much more. Any exercise you do, really, your traditional exercises, you want to do slow and smooth, as slow as possible, okay? Because you're getting the highest bang for your buck, okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that. Just a little beginner intro to why we get tight and how the two of the biggest carryover exercises that will actually remove that tightness and that pain, because we're addressing the symptom. We're addressing the root problem, not the symptoms. So I know this is all the way at the end of the video, but this is why stretching is almost irrelevant, because it's not teaching you how to be coordinated. So it's not making the muscle groups coordinated. Okay, so you're not giving the body what it actually needs. Okay, and so what people always notice here, and anybody that I'm training online or in person, is when they start to do it this way, all of a sudden, without any stretching or anything, their tightness begins to go away. They have more range of motion in everything. Their pain goes away. So let me know if that's helpful. Let me know if you have more questions about that. And by the way, this is from somebody who had such bad back pain that I couldn't even walk at times. And I've experienced every injury, and that's what really led me to strength training, is to become pain-free. Obviously, I wanted to be ripped and be jacked, and that's important. That's very important. But what really got me results was figuring out how to resolve all the pain that I had, right? And my answer is always, if you get stronger, okay, you will all the little problems and issues that you have kind of go away. So that's why it's called the strength method, because strength is the answer. And for me, like physical strength is the starting point. It's the easiest entry point, but coordination is in that. Like, it's not strong if you are not coordinated and can't do it beautifully. That's not strength, okay? And it's not, and if you get tired easily, that's not strong either. So that's why in the strength method, physical strength, right? Like moving your body weight, coordination, moving it smoothly with grace, not getting tired, so having endurance, those are all components of strength. That is the strength method, right?